Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to, Quarantine Irish Tunes Day 48. Today is Friday, TGIF. It is the 8th? The 8th of May, 2020 here in Madison, Wisconsin, where it's a sunny, breezy, cool day. And I'm going to start out with a couple of reels. I learned these both over in Ireland, and it's funny because the music teacher, the fiddle player that I learned them from at the Willie Clancy Piping Willie Week, they call it, the music camp that happens in Milltown, Clare every year, back in like 1983. His name was Paddy Ryan, and he wasn't the Paddy Ryan in these tunes, but it was kind of funny that he taught us these. So the first one's called Paddy Ryan's Dream, and the second one is called Paddy Ryan's Nightmare. So a couple of Irish reels for you here. So. Love those tunes. Unfortunately, never play them anymore. They just fell out of the repertoire, wasn't playing with people that knew them, and it's much more fun to play reels with other folks that know the tunes, and there's only really one other person in Madison that knows Paddy Ryan's Nightmare, Dan Cobb, the banjo player, and he hasn't showed up at the session in a long time, and I haven't gotten there very often either, because for the last 13 years we played every week at the Brokaw, and it was hard to get to the Wednesday session as well. So two great tunes, Paddy Ryan's Dream and Paddy Ryan's Nightmare. And the funny thing is actually I think the second one sounds a little sweeter, so it doesn't sound like a nightmare at all to me. Alrighty, so it's interesting in on a CD where I found this tune from a young folks Irish band called Cappella Nua. They call this tune Gan Aim, G-A-N, second word A-I-M or A-I-M-H. And a lot of people think that's the name of the tune. Gan Aim is actually an Irish term that means basically like unknown or name unknown or no name. And so it's funny because people have found those tunes and then they think that's the name of it. So you'll find it on a record as if it was, or people saying, well, the name of this one is, you know, and then saying in Irish, unknown. So, but I've been, like I said, I learned this from Paddy Ryan, a fiddle player in Clare, who was from Roscommon, I believe, and he taught it to me and a group of students there. So when I was studying fiddling over in Ireland in 1983. All right, so as I mentioned, this is day 48. It feels like a marathon or a 50K or a 50 miler because I'm doing this for 50 days. I'm on day 48. The finish line is in sight. I know it's not the end of the lockdown, but it's as far as I'm going to go to get you through. And so today I wore a shirt in honor of that. I wore a Boston Marathon shirt. I've been lucky enough to run the Boston Marathon 4 times. This is my shirt from 2013, which was actually the year of the bombing. And I've gotten, like I said, to do it again since then. This will be my 4th time was in 2018, and I plan to do it again in 2023 when I reach a milestone birthday that ends in a 0. Yeah, so I'll talk more about that as we go on, but I'm going to do a song next, and it's a song my bandmate Turner used to play, and it's kind of ironic, and I always liked it when he did it because it's you know, it's a great song and it's very cute and funny, but it's from the perspective of an older man who is rocking the cradle and the baby not his own. So it's the story of, you know, his wife's always out, you know, she's younger and she's out partying and he's left alone taking care of the baby. I find it quite ironic because there's actually many, many more songs about the opposite, where the woman is stuck at home. I already sang one a few weeks ago called Do You Love an Apple? And there's a great line in there. It says, you know, when I was single, I'd sport and I play. Now that I'm married, the cradle gets in me way. Or there's single girl, married girl, lots of other examples where this happens. Supposedly this is a very old song, and some people relate it in Ireland to the Christ child and the idea of Joseph, because there's a line in here that says, perhaps your own daddy will never be known, and the whole idea of Joseph and, you know, taking care of a baby. On a bright summer's evening, I chanced to go roving. Down by the clear river, I jogged along. It's telling me I have low internet, so I'm going to switch to the to my phone and see if that will work. All right. Hopefully this is going to continue on here. I was just starting the song, so this is Rockin the Cradle. On a bright summer's evening, I chanced to go roving. Down by the clear river, I jogged along. I heard an old man making sad lamentation. He was rocking the cradle, and the child not his own. Hi-ho, my laddie, lie easy. Perhaps your own daddy will never be known. I am sitting and sighing and rocking the cradle, and I'm rocking a baby that's none of my own. She goes out every night to a ball or a ceilidh, and leaves me here rockin' the cradle alone. I'm here by the fire without much desire, and I'm rockin' a baby that's none of my own. Hi ho, my laddie, lie easy. Perhaps your own daddy will never be known. I am sittin' and sighin' and rockin' the cradle, and rockin' a baby that's none of my own. Now come all ye young men that's inclined to get married, take my advice, leave the women alone. For by the Lord Harry, if ever you should marry, they'll leave you with a baby that's none of your own. Hi ho, lie laddie, lie easy. Perhaps your own daddy will never be known. I am sittin' here sighin' and rockin' the cradle, and rockin' the baby that's none of my own. Hi ho, my laddie, lie easy. Perhaps your own daddy will never be known. I am sittin' here sighin' and rockin' the cradle, and I'm rockin' a baby that's none of my own. All right, that was Rockin' the Cradle, a song about a man sitting home taking care of the baby while his wife is out going to a ceilidh or a dance or a party. So I'm going to send this song out to all the child care providers and early care and education folks all over Wisconsin. In my day job, I work to improve their wages and get them trainings and help them provide for families and children healthy meals and physical activity and stimulating curriculum, etc. So the fact is, well over 95% of that workforce is female. This song I can only take with a grain of salt as being ironic, because isn't it the case that here is this man stuck at home taking care of the babies while his wife is just out having a darn good time? So it doesn't happen in real life that I've heard much. So there's a line in there that says, by the Lord Harry. I was unfamiliar with this term, and I had to look it up, and it turns out that Lord Harry is an old term for the devil. So it was a way to kind of curse or take the Lord's name in vain without doing it in an improper way. So you'd say, in this case, by the Lord Harry, if ever you marry. So let's learn something new. The Lord Harry is an old name for the devil. So, all right. So, since I mentioned the Boston Marathon and running, it's been something that's been part of my life for a long time. I won't go into the story because it'll take too much time, but I started running in Berkeley, California when I was 12 years old. Ask me sometime about it. So, all right, so I wore this shirt because this is a marathon, not a sprint, and I'm getting near the finish, and I want to thank all the folks that have pushed me along and cheered me through this. And so I'm going to be listing some of those folks in a minute. But first, I just want to mention some of my connections to running and to biking. And so I get to run with a great group of folks. We call ourselves De-Lederhosers. And I didn't wear the shirt, but I brought it along here. Let's see. You can't read it because it's backwards, but it says De-Lederhosers. And we have a lot of fun, so that's my running group. And then I've gotten to bike for many years now with a great group of folks called the Mooks. And Mooks is just a silly term of like somebody who's kind of just a goofus. And so we kind of make fun of ourselves, and it says Mooks there. And then on the back it has my Mook name. My Mook name is Blarney Trouble. Kind of like Barney Rubble, but Blarney for the Irish, and I'm lots of trouble. So that's me, Blarney Trouble. We all have Mook names and make fun of ourselves. So kind of like in the Hash House Harriers, another group that I run with, I have a hash name that I got when I came back from Vientiane, from Laos, where I ran with the Hash House Harriers there. And I got a hash name here in Madison. My hash name is fiddles with it, or fiddles for short is what they call me. So, all right, so let's see here. I'm gonna do another a tune here. This is not anything I've done in 48 days. I've done jigs, polkas, slip jigs, set dances, waltzes. This is in 3/4 like a waltz, but it's a mazurka, and it's kind of a faster hop waltz. There's a dance that goes with this. It's called Shoe the Donkey, and I actually posted it on Facebook of an example of people. It's a couple's dance. It's quite lively. My understanding from a little bit of reading, but I'm sure some other folks know a lot more, is that both mazurkas and polkas came via Poland. All right, Shoe the Donkey. You can dance to this one. Shoe the Donkey. All right, a mazurka, a fun thing to dance to. All right, so I need to give some shout outs to all the wonderful people who have been enjoying this show and encouraging me and writing comments and requests and suggestions and encouragement. You know, it's been a long haul. It's been a marathon, and I've enjoyed it, but it's also been a challenge. A lot of practicing because a lot of these tunes were very rusty, or I never really learned because, my bandmates sang the song, so I never had to, memorize the words or remember exactly how it goes or what key it's in or any of that kind of stuff. So, all right, so it's been fun. First of all, shout out to Sandy because she's the one who started this all. On the morning of Sunday, March 22nd, she just casually said, or maybe wrote me on Facebook and said, hey, Da, how about a few jigs and reels? And I'm like, sure, I'll go on it, and do it. And what do? I've never used Facebook Live. So I did it, and then somehow I just decided that was really fun and did it the next day and the next day and the next day. And now 7 weeks later, I'm nearing the finish line of 50 days in a row. So first of all, shout out to Sandy for the idea and for starting and for putting up with all this. So. And then second to Mairead, because she has sat in with me at least 3 times, I think. She's also helped out with the clapping on some of the songs. And then, of course, to just numerous people that have been wonderful supporters. I think Prentice has listened to every single show and been super encouraging, and that's been wonderful. And, of course, my other bandmates in the Curragh, Darryl and Josh, and in Yid Vicious, Kia and Jeff, and Dave and Anna and Greg and Matt, and then of course in Hootenanny with Michael and Cindy and Prentice, as I already mentioned, and Tim, And then, of course, just lots of people who have been there every day, almost every day. Maureen and Jeff and Nan Louise, my sister, and my brother-in-law. What is he? Yes, Stephen, and my niece Ashley, and also my niece Kalila. My mom doesn't watch live, but she usually watches it every day. So thank you, Mom. My mom Shirley. Janice, my running friend and fiddle player as well. Maggie and her daughter Frances, Cece and Michael, Renzo and his mom Allie, and Becky, who's on right now, and Jane, who's a huge fan of the Karak, and my office mate Corinda, and PK up there in Wausau, and Tim White, who's over there in Mount Horeb, who comments every day, and Gloria down in Florida, and Sheila, and Kathy and Bob and Carol, who's out there in, Connecticut or somewhere. My good buddy David Isaacson down in Chicago, and Laura, and Mary Ray, and my colleague Dadit, and Kat, and Diane, and Meredith, who's listening right now, and Eigel, and Carla, and Mike Duffy, and Z and her boys, and Robin, and Harold over there in Spain, and Amanda over there in La Crosse, Ingrid in Ann Arbor, Nancy, Abby, a child care provider, yay! Carla, Ashley is as well, and Andy, who's listening right now, and Ronnie down in Chicago, Jonathan Rosenblum, Jason, Marilyn, David, who gave me some comments on my song today, and I'm sure I'm forgetting folks, but thank you, thank you, thank you. You've been fantastic. I've been so encouraged and emboldened to do this and feel good about connecting to community in the world. As many of you know, I'm an extrovert. I like people. I like being around crowds and community and friends, and it's been a challenge these last 7 weeks. So, all right, what's next? We did Shoe the Donkey. It's time for another song. This is one that everybody knows. I did a Robert Burns song a couple days ago. It was one called Rattlin' Roarin' Willie. This is a much more familiar one. It's Comin' Through the Rye, and you all know it. I hope you'll sing along. And David Rolnick sent me a little parody part that maybe I'll try afterwards. So, but here is Comin' Through the Rye, Robert Burns song, and it's got a lot of words in it that are in the Scottish dialect, so it might be a little challenge to figure it all out. But for example, coming through the tune is the town. Hame is home. I don't know what else. We'll see. Get a buddy, meet a buddy, coming through the rye. Get a buddy, kiss a buddy, need a buddy cry. Ilka lassie, hey her laddie, none they say hey I. But all the lads they smile at me when coming through the rye. Get a buddy, meet a buddy, coming fray the tune. Get a buddy, greet a buddy, need a buddy froon. Ilka lassie, hey her laddie, none they say hey I. Yet all the lads they smile at me when coming through the rye. Among the train there is a swain I dearly love myself. But what's his name and what's his hame, I do not care to tell. Ilka lassie, hey her laddie, none they say hey I. Yet all the lads they smile at me when coming through the rye. Meet a buddy, coming through the rye. Get a buddy, kiss a buddy, need a buddy cry. Ilka lassie, hey her laddie, none they say hey I. Yet all the lads they smile at me when coming through the rye. That goes out to all the Holden Caulfields of the world. Catcher in the Rye. All right, so that's a great old Robert Burns song with lots of dialect in it. Coming frae the tune. Froon is frown. Let's see what else. Meet a body. Swain is a young man. What's his name and what's his hame? I do not care to tell. So she has a sweetie, but she just doesn't want to share. Keep it to herself. So, all righty. So I said I would maybe do a little bit of a parody that David sent me. This one has to do with Newtonian physics. So it goes like this. Gin a buddy meet a buddy flying through the air. Gin a buddy hit a buddy, will it fly and where? Ilka impact has its measure, ne'er a hey say I, yet all the lads they measure me, or at least they try. Gin a buddy meet a buddy, altogether free. How they travel afterwards, we do not always see. Ilka problem has its method, by analytics high. For me, I ken nae ane of them, but what the war am I? It's from Rigid Body Sings by James Clerk Maxwell. So a parody of Coming Through the Rye about Newtonian physics. So always good to have a little fun with these traditional, historical, staid old songs. So, all right, what else do I have to say except that tomorrow's day 49, and I hope you come back. There's going to be kind of a nautical, maritime theme. I'm doing some sea songs and one from the Canada, from the maritime provinces, and I don't know where the other one's from. The whale. They're both probably, one's a whaling song. There's a sailor's hornpipe. So it's kind of a sea songs tomorrow on Saturday. So I hope you come back for that. That'll be day 49, and then all that's left is Sunday, Mother's Day, the home stretch, the finish line, and I feel like I can get there with all your help. So thank you. All right, so I'm going to finish off the day with a 4-part jig called The Lark in the Morning, and it feels like a spring song. This goes out to all the birders out there. I've seen lots of them out as I'm out on my bike or running, people with binoculars and bird books and enjoying the wildlife. And especially this goes out to Dave and Ann and Jake down in Chicago because they're avid bird watchers. So yeah. All right, so this is going to be the last one. This is a jig called The Lark in the Morning. All right. Thank you all very much for listening. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. I hope everybody's doing well. This is crazy times, and I wish you all good music, good health, mental health and physical health, and love and kindness and community and friendship and just everything. A little of everything, a pinch of everything. All right. So I'll be back tomorrow, and thanks so much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.